Microwaves are a lifesaver, right? Quick, easy, one button, and boom, dinner's ready. For so many of us, especially seniors, they've become the kitchen MVP. But here's something I learned the hard way, and it's a game changer. Not every food belongs in that microwave. Some foods lose their goodness, others turn risky, and a few can even become downright dangerous. I used to zap everything without a second thought until I noticed how it affected my energy, my digestion, and even my safety. On the flip side, there's something magical about the oven. That slow, steady heat can transform foods, unlocking nutrients, boosting flavor, and making them easier on the body. So, today, let's dive into 5 foods you should never microwave, no matter how tempting it is, and 5 you should absolutely bake instead. These small swaps could make a big difference in how you feel, especially as we age. Trust me, I've been there, and I wish I'd known this sooner. Let's get started. 1. Hard boiled eggs. A microwave mistake you'll regret. Picture this. I'm rushing to make lunch, grab a hard boiled egg from the fridge, and think, I'll just warm it up real quick. Big mistake. Those eggs might seem like the perfect protein packed snack, but microwaves and hard boiled eggs are a disaster waiting to happen. The heat builds up fast inside that dense egg white, trapping steam with nowhere to go. Next thing you know, boom, it's not just a mess, it's a full on explosion that can splatter hot egg everywhere, even after it's out of the microwave. I learned this when one popped right on my counter, nearly burning my hand. For anyone with slower reflexes, that's not just annoying, it's a real hazard. Plus, microwaves heat unevenly, so you might end up with cold spots where bacteria like salmonella can linger. Not worth the risk, especially when digestion and immunity aren't as strong as they used to be. Instead, try this. Peel and slice the egg, then warm it gently in a pan with a tiny bit of water. Or honestly, just eat it cold with a pinch of salt or toss it into a salad. Eggs are amazing, but the microwave, not their friend. 2. Processed meats. A hidden health hit you don't need. Who doesn't love a quick hot dog or some crispy bacon? They're easy, nostalgic, and perfect for a fast meal. But here's what I didn't know until my doctor pointed it out. Microwaving processed meats like sausages, deli ham, or bacon can do more harm than good. These meats are already loaded with sodium and nitrites, and when you zap them, especially for too long, those nitrites can turn into nitrosamines, compounds linked to cancer risk. I used to microwave bacon daily, thinking it was a harmless treat, until I read about how these chemicals build up over time, especially for us older folks with slower digestion. Microwaves also heat unevenly, so you might get chewy, half-cooked spots alongside overdone ones, which isn't just bad for taste, it can let bacteria hang around. Instead, try baking your bacon or sausage in the oven. It cooks evenly, stays crisp, and reduces those harmful compounds. Or better yet, swap in healthier options like grilled chicken strips or roasted veggies for that savory fix. Your body will thank you, and so will your taste buds. 3. Leafy greens. Don't let the microwave steal their power. Spinach, kale, collards. These greens are like nature's multivitamin, packed with fiber, iron, and heart-healthy nitrates. I used to toss leftover spinach in the microwave to reheat it, thinking I was being healthy. But here's the catch. Microwaving greens, especially ones you've cooked before, can turn those good nitrates into nitrosamines, just like with processed meats. That's not just a nutrient loss, it's a potential health risk, especially as we age and our bodies don't clear out toxins as easily. Plus, microwave greens, they get soggy, bitter, and smell weird. No thanks. I remember serving mushy kale to my grandkids once and they wouldn't touch it. Now I reheat greens gently on the stove with a splash of olive oil or toss them cold into a quinoa bowl. If you're making a casserole with greens, baking works great too. Just avoid that microwave blast. These greens are too good for your heart and brain to let a quick zap ruin them. 4. Breast milk. A microwave no-go for the little ones. If you're a grandparent like me helping with the grandkids, you might be tempted to warm up breast milk in the microwave. It seems so convenient, right? But I learned this the hard way when my daughter explained why it's a terrible idea. Breast milk isn't just food. It's packed with antibodies and enzymes that protect babies. Microwaves destroy those delicate nutrients, leaving the milk less powerful. Even worse, they create hot spots that can burn a baby's mouth, even if the bottle feels fine. I once overheated a bottle by accident, and thank goodness we tested it first. For caregivers with shaky hands or weaker vision, handling a too hot bottle is an extra risk. Instead, warm breast milk in a bowl of warm water for a few minutes, swirling gently to even it out. Always test it on your wrist first. It's a small step that keeps the milk safe and nutritious for the baby and gives you peace of mind. 5. Potatoes. A surprising microwave risk. Potatoes are my comfort food, mashed, roasted, you name it. But microwaving them, especially if they've been stored wrong, can be trouble. I used to keep potatoes in the fridge thinking it'd make them last longer. Turns out, cold storage turns their starch into sugar. And when you microwave them, that sugar can form acrylamide, a chemical linked to cancer risk. If the potato's sprouting or green, it's even worse, producing a toxin called solanine that microwaves don't destroy. I had a friend who got sick from a microwave potato that looked fine, but wasn't. For us seniors with more sensitive stomachs, that's a risk we don't need. Microwaving also leaves potatoes unevenly cooked, with hard spots and mushy ones. Instead, store potatoes in a cool, dry, airy spot, not the fridge. Check for sprouts or green patches and cut them out. Then bake them in the oven for that fluffy, flavorful texture. Drizzle with olive oil and herbs, and you've got a safe, delicious staple that's kind to your body. Now let's talk about foods that love the oven. These 5 ingredients don't just survive baking, they come alive, giving you better flavor, easier digestion, and more nutrients. Here's why you'll want to fire up that oven. 6. Salmon, a brain-boosting, oven-baked superstar. Salmon is a powerhouse. Omega-3s for your heart, protein for your muscles, and vitamins for your brain. I used to microwave it for speed, but it always came out dry or rubbery, and then I later learned I was wrecking those precious omega-3s. Baking salmon at 350 degrees Fahrenheit is a whole different story. The gentle heat keeps it moist, tender, and bursting with flavor. Those omega-3s stay intact, and for us seniors, that's huge for keeping joints flexible and minds sharp. Plus, you can add garlic, dill, or a lemon slice for a restaurant-quality dish without the mess of frying. I bake a big batch on Sunday, then use leftovers for salads or sandwiches all week. It's easy to chew, gentle on the stomach, and honestly, it tastes like a treat. Microwaves can't come close to that oven magic. 7. Sweet potatoes. Oven-baked sweetness for your health. Sweet potatoes are like a hug on a plate. Sweet, filling, and packed with fiber, antioxidants, and beta-carotene for your eyes and heart. I used to microwave them, but they'd turn out gummy or half-cooked. Baking them at 400 degrees Fahrenheit is a revelation. The slow heat caramelizes their sugars, making them rich and dessert-like without adding a thing. That fiber keeps your blood sugar steady and digestion smooth. Perfect for seniors like me who need that balance. I love slicing them open, adding a dab of butter or cinnamon, and savoring every bite. Bake a few at once, store them in the fridge, and reheat in the oven for a quick, nutrient-packed side. The microwave just can't match that deep, comforting flavor. 8. Apples, a baked treat that's easy on the gut. Apples are amazing. Fiber, antioxidants, and a classic flavor. But raw apples can be tough to chew or digest as we age. Baking them changes everything. I started baking apples after noticing how raw ones upset my stomach. The oven softens them, making the fiber gentler and easier to absorb, which is great for constipation or sensitive digestion. The natural sugars concentrate, so you get a sweet, warm dessert without extra sugar. Toss in some cinnamon or walnuts, and it's pure comfort. I bake a few with the skin on to keep the nutrients and enjoy them with yogurt for breakfast. Microwaved apples, they're soggy and flat. The oven turns them into a cozy, health-boosting delight. 9. Broccoli or cauliflower, roasted to perfection. Broccoli and cauliflower are nutrient powerhouses, vitamin C, fiber, and compounds that fight inflammation. I used to microwave them, but they'd turn mushy and smell like sulfur. Roasting them in the oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit is a total game changer. The edges get crispy, the flavor turns nutty, and those healthy compounds stay strong. Toss with olive oil and a pinch of salt, and you've got a side dish you'll actually crave. For seniors, they're easy to chew and digest, and roasting a big batch means leftovers for soups or salads. I wish I'd switched from microwaving sooner. It's night and day for taste and health. 10. Whole grain bread. Bake your own for better health. Store-bought bread can be sneaky, full of preservatives and refined flour that mess with blood sugar. Baking your own whole grain bread changed how I feel after meals. You control the ingredients. whole wheat, oats, or spelt for fiber and nutrients, no weird additives. I was intimidated at first, but simple no knead recipes are a breeze. Add seeds or nuts for extra protein and crunch, or a touch of honey for softness. Fresh baked bread is easier to digest, especially if you let it ferment a bit, like sourdough. For seniors with dental issues, it's soft and satisfying. Microwaving bread makes it tough and chewy, but a warm homemade loaf, it's love in every slice. Switching from the microwave to the oven for these foods isn't just about taste, it's about feeling better, digesting easier, and keeping nutrients where they belong. I started making these changes a few years ago, and my energy, digestion, and even mood improved. You don't need to redo your whole kitchen routine. Just try one swap, like baking your salmon or roasting your broccoli. Food is more than fuel, it's care, memory, and connection. How you cook it matters as much as what you eat. If this helped you rethink your kitchen habits, hit that subscribe button. Let's keep finding small ways to live better, one bite at a time.